So speaking of relationships, how do your theories on identity and success apply to couples in relationships where you can feel comfortable working on your own identity and your own self, but also being a part of a team?
And that's beautiful. I mean, you said it. So to be able to be comfortable with yourself, be happy with what you do, doesn't have anything to do with what somebody else is doing. So you're not jealous, you're not angry, you're not upset because somebody is more successful than you or whatever the case may be, because you're happy with yourself.
Have you used kind of your own principles of identity with...
I couldn't do it. There's no way I could do it or deal with some of the issues I've had to deal with throughout my life without following the 9-step success process. I created it for myself. I don't worry about how the world defines me or how other people define me. I work on.
This is why I respect Stedman, because 50-50, that wouldn't even make sense.
No,
like, why would
it's
he 50-50 with Oprah?
He's on the salary with Oprah.
Yeah.
He has an allowance.
I think that's a stipend.
Yeah,
Even if he's on retention.
Yeah, he is for sure.
That's a fact.
But shout out to Stedman for playing his position. That's the art of playing your position is lost.
Well, Heidi, this should be interesting to you because your friend in your head, Oprah Winfrey.
Yeah, best friend forever.
Yes, her man, Stedman Graham, wrote a book called Identity Leadership.
Okay.
And in the book, he reveals some of his secrets about the 30-year relationship he's had with Oprah.
Oh, nice.
And in Hollywood, I mean, a 30-year relationship, that's like a lifetime.
Oprah Winfrey is widely known for her kindness and generosity, often seen through her gift-giving on her show. However, some reports have cast doubt on her public image. Stedman Graham, Oprah's partner of over 30 years, has reportedly shared surprising insights into their relationship, hinting at complexities behind the scenes. Despite their long-term relationship, the two have never married, and Stedman once ended his connection with Robin Robinson shortly after starting with Oprah.
Oh, that is romantic.
Oprah Winfrey is sharing a sweet detail about her love story with Stedman Graham. The talk show legend stopped by Drew Barrymore's daytime show for a fun interview, during which she revealed her partner's most romantic gesture. Oprah shared that Stedman went above and beyond on Valentine's Day, making sure she got love from more than just him.
We had 5 dogs. Now,
Stedman kept up the gesture for a few years, and Oprah joked that, as sweet as it was, she was eventually ready for something new.
after about the 5th year, I was like, okay, you need to move on to something else. I got the car, I got it, it's nice, that's nice.
Stedman has been by Oprah's side for more than 3 decades, and he's sure to be among those showering her with love when she celebrates her upcoming milestone birthday. The Color Purple producer is set to turn 70 in January, and she told Drew that she has a few different ideas for how she might mark the occasion.
I'm trying to decide, do I have just a dance party? I also like the idea of a few friends joining me in the redwoods, because I love trees, but the problem is it's January and it'll probably be cold. And then I also really like the idea of just being at home alone in my pajamas. So I'm trying to decide.
Drew and Oprah's talk show chat comes decades after their first interview together, when Drew was a teenager and a guest on the Oprah Winfrey Show. The Charlie's Angels star remarked on the wisdom she saw in Oprah back then, but the TV mogul humbly replied that she wasn't wise at that stage, just really focused on paying attention to others and connecting to her audience. Oprah went on to say that she had never been to therapy, but that in her role as a talk show host, quote, "I had all of my therapy on the show in front of everybody."
I would say this. Stedman is an incredible man, and he's a very special man in that he is not the least bit intimidated by me or what I do, and he says to me all the time, look, I want you to be president. You want to be president? Run for president. I'll work on the campaign. So I'm very grateful to have somebody like that who doesn't want to be in the limelight with me, isn't when you walk into a room looking for all the cameras, and so I don't know what will happen.
In his book, Identity Leadership, Stedman Graham mentioned that while he had a good relationship with Oprah and she made him happy, he actually felt happier when she wasn't around. This unexpected admission is surprising, given their long-standing relationship.
This should be interesting to you because your friend in your head, Oprah Winfrey.
Yeah, best friend forever.
Yes, her man, Stedman Graham, wrote a book called Identity Leadership.
Okay.
And in the book, he reveals some of his secrets about the 30-year relationship he's had with Oprah.
Oh, nice.
And in Hollywood, I mean, a 30-year relationship, that's like a lifetime.
They're not married.
Especially with someone as powerful as Oprah.
Yes.
So he goes on to say, the thing about our relationship is I want the best for her. So I'm dedicated to her happiness. So that's great for her, and I want her to be the best she can possibly be, and she's done a pretty good job of doing it.
Do you hear that, Frank? You hear that? That's how you're supposed to talk to a significant other or a spouse. You want what's best for her. You want her to be happy.
That is wonderful, Stedman, but this is so passive-aggressive because then he goes on to say this. For me, I've been able to find my own happiness. Like, nobody's helping him find his happiness. He's helping Oprah find all hers. He's finding his own happiness.
You're reading into that.
No. He goes on. For me, I've been able to find my own happiness and develop my own skills, my own talents, my own abilities, and I'm satisfied with that. So the combination, when you have a good partner that's able to self-actualize their potential and you're able to self-actualize yours, 1 and 1 equals about 6. The only thing you don't see there are the tears on the paper.
It sounds like Oprah's absence made him stronger.
Or maybe to make him happy, she gets home from her powerful day and looks at him and goes, "You get BJ."
And I teach people how to develop an identity for themselves because I didn't have one.
Okay, so you, speaking about the 9 steps to success, could you just tell us a little bit more about that process? What does that involve?
Well, the first step of the 9-step success process, and it says success process because you need to be able to process. And what I realize, I'm right-brained, so I'm emotional, I focus on vision, big picture, creativity, all of that, is that what I missed was the process. To be able to execute what your dreams and aspirations are. The first step of the 9-step success process is called Check Your ID, which is focused on who you are, what your talents are, what your skills are, what you love to do, what you're passionate about. That's the piece, Natalie. If you can get that first step and find out everything that you love and then organize that, then take information and education, make it relevant to your passion. And the 24 hours that you have every single day, which is the only thing that makes you equal. Everybody has 24 hours. That's what makes everybody equal. So the question is, what do you do with the 24 hours? And so when you can take the 24 hours, organize education and knowledge, apply it to your talents, to your natural ability, to your passion, to what you love, you change the way you learn. Right now, the educational system in school teaches you how to memorize, take tests, repeat your information back. You get labeled with a grade. If I ask a student what they learned 2 weeks later, they'd probably say nothing. You're stuck in a world where you do the same thing over and over every single day. If you did the same thing you did yesterday, as you would do today, as you would do tomorrow, what have you done? Nothing. Nothing is nothing is nothing. So all you can be in life is a worker. You can't be a thinker. So identity is the foundation for thinking and developing and creating and co-creating and building and growing and improving. The second step, of course, is vision. It's create your vision. What can you see? What can you be? If you can believe it, you can see it, you can be it. And so the idea of being able to take vision. I'm in the education business. How big is education? It's worldwide. How big should my network be worldwide? I'm in London right now doing this interview. It's based on vision. So there should be no unlimited opportunities if you can see it. And you can then organize a process, which goes to the third step. You gotta have a travel plan. What's your plan? What is your plan to execute it and make it happen every single day? That's why we go to school. That's why we're educated. That's why we
because it doesn't just manifest overnight, does it? I think people just think it's easy and it'll happen, but it doesn't, does it? Step by step.
Can you prepare yourself for success? It's in the preparation. It's in the reading. It's in the learning. It's lifelong learning. It's taking information, education, make it relevant to your purpose in life, transferring it back to your mind, and then transferring it to the global marketplace, and in my case, the American Free Enterprise System.
And one of the steps you also mentioned was about the dream team. Now that's an area that I'm actually looking at myself at the moment, because I do feel with the kind of vision that I personally have been given, I think you get to a certain level, don't you, where you can do things on your own to a certain point, but then you really need to have a support system. You need to have other people around you.
Well, it's important because you don't pick mentors. Mentors pick you.
That's interesting.
And they pick you out based on, they say, you know what, I like you. I like your determination and perseverance. I like the way that you work. You show up on time. You're a hard worker. You have a positive attitude. You're energetic. You want to be somebody. I want to help you.
So speaking of relationships, how do your theories on identity and success apply to couples in relationships where, you can feel comfortable working on your own identity and your own self, but also being a part of a team?
That's beautiful. You said it. So to be able to be comfortable with yourself, be happy with what you do, doesn't have anything to do with somebody else is doing. So you're not jealous, you're not angry, you're not upset because somebody is, more successful than you or whatever the case may be, because you're happy with yourself. That's what we're talking about.
That makes perfect sense. I think we can all relate to that, right? It's like no matter where you are or who you're with, there's always some sort of, question of, is that person being their authentic self, and do I want to be in this relationship?
And strength being, only the strong survive. That's I always talk about that in my speeches. But you're strong when you're strong. You're not strong because you want to make yourself be strong. You're strong when you do the work. You're strong when you have a vision that you can apply to your life every day. You're strong when you're focusing on what you do well. You're strong when you focus on love. You're strong when you are when you put the 24 hours of work in, and when you're strong when you organize your life. You're strong when you are able to take information and make it relevant to your development. You're strong when you work on your weaknesses. That's when you're strong. You're not strong because you just want to be strong, or just because you think you should be stronger than the other person. So you got to earn the right for that.
Then have there been examples of, and have you used kind of your own principles of identity with?
I couldn't do it. There's no way I could do it or deal with some of the issues I've had to deal with throughout my life without following the 9-step success process. Okay, I follow it. I created it for myself. And what I do is I don't worry about how the world defines me or how other people define me. I work on me.
Yeah.
I develop me so that the more I have, the more I can give. I can contribute more because I'm working on me and building value in my own life. So it's the value you want to build in your own life, not waiting for somebody to give you that, or having somebody else determine your value. Create your own, build your own opportunities, source your own talents, find out what you do well and work on it, and search for it. And then what will happen, you'll develop this process for continuous improvement, and you'll improve and you'll grow and you'll develop and you'll build, and you're pretty much, you're not your circumstances, you are your possibilities because of the work that you put in. It's the work that you do when you work on yourself. So we're just trying to change this around so that you begin to understand the importance of you and how you can begin to build whatever you want.
Simon continues by explaining that he lacks a distinct identity as everyone views him as Oprah's partner, which is precisely why he chose to write the book in the first place, to establish his own space and reveal to the world his true personality.
Self-mastery, right, self-efficacy and self-actualization. And so the way the system is set up is not designed for self, which is why you have 99% of people who are followers and 1% run everything because they understand the process of success. And most of us don't understand that because in education, the educational system teaches us how to memorize and take tests, repeat the information back. We get labeled with a grade, and 2 weeks later we forget the information. And we're stuck in a fixed mindset just to do the same thing over and over every day, which is work.
Yeah.
So we're not thinking, we're not developing, we're not building, we're not creating, and we're not designing our own future based on our potential, based on our talents, and based on our passion as a human being. So I want to reverse that process and teach people all around the world the process of how you do that, which is kind of a secret for most people who understand how to do that and who actually run the world, and everybody else is following.
And have you had people come back to you with feedback on how you've changed their life through, the things that you teach people?
I've been doing this almost 25 years, teaching people the process of success, because in my own life I was looking for equality and freedom.
Yep.
And if you're looking for freedom, you'll never find it on the outside, because the world defines you by your race and your house and your car, your money, your religion. And so you never get a chance to really discover who you are. So without understanding who you are, you can't turn the learning system around. So everything you learn, you pretty much, it doesn't mean anything. So your ability to be able to organize information and resources around you, that's the secret. And when people understand that, I do this in schools and colleges and universities and all of this, and I teach people in corporate America, because they think because they work and they have a lot of money, that all of a sudden they have a meaningful life. You make a lot of money, but you still don't know how to take the money and make it relevant to your development. So I've got people at all segments, who are very happy with changing the learning system around for them and helping them discover their identity as a human being, so they can begin to self-master.
I love this, because you're right. A lot of people say they work really hard, they've made a lot of money, and they're still not happy. And they say money doesn't make you happy. So that sentence is true from where you come from. You have to be happy within yourself, not just what you glue around you.
Money gives you, amplifies more of who you are. But if you don't know who you are, you can't be amplified.
Exactly.
You only have the money to talk about. So you go around and you show people your nice house and your nice car, and you're bragging on this and bragging on all your physical things. But internally, you're starving because you have no sense of self. And then you're defined by the outside world. So the world labels you and puts you in a box, and it tells women you can't make it because it's a man's world. You buy into the program, and you become marginalized because you're focused on the external world as a way to define your existence. You don't have the tools to define yourself. So for me, I'm defined a lot by my relationship with Oprah, but it has nothing to do with me.
Right, exactly.
That's how you define me.
Yeah.
That's how you define me. It's not how I define myself, which is why I can maintain equality in a relationship with someone who is unbelievable, because I'm not focused on their development as a way to equalize and create freedom. I'm focused on my own development. So I'm developing a process of continuous improvement every day based on my skills, talents, abilities, purpose, and passion. That's what makes me happy. So I don't care what you do. I can care less who you are or what you do or what you've been able to accomplish, because that has nothing to do with who I am as a person.
So you mentioned, that you've been with Oprah for a long time now.
Yeah.
When did you guys first meet?
Wow, we met a long time ago. She just says this sometime, a long time ago. And we met at a charity. I knew her 2 years before we actually started going out. And we met over this gentleman's house named Max Robinson, who was an anchor back in the day. And so, we've been together for a long time. It's been great. I mean, I'm so lucky and very fortunate to have a great partner. It's not been easy, which relationships aren't always easy, but it's been, I'm so grateful and thankful that I have somebody who was just a dynamic and wonderful person and who's extraordinary.
That's amazing. That's what we all, wish for and hope for sure, is finding that life partner. And yeah.
It's amazing. And she is, I look at what she's done and who she is, and I can't even believe, what she's done, and it just, extraordinary to watch.
Larger than life, right? It's
incredible mind, beautiful woman. Just nice to everybody. Humble. Humility, that kind of thing. So just really strong all the way around.
Yeah, it's incredible. So I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about your writing process as an aspiring writer. Do you spend a lot of time on the outline phase? Do you like to just jump into it? What's your writing process?
Well, my writing process is I come up with ideas and I write a lot. And then I may come up with an idea, and what I try to do is solve problems through solutions, of course, and through my writing. I'm kind of in the self-help industry. I'm now in the identity industry. So, you know, I do a lot of writing around that and research around that. And then I have someone help me. I can't do all of the writing myself. And so that works out really well. And then you want to build a team, and now I have instructional designers who help and all of that. But basically I drive it for the most part and drive the content and all of that.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah. It's, you know, having so many books out and doing it for so long, I mean, it's obviously impressive is an understatement, but, you know,
it's hard writing a book.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing easy about writing a book, so it takes a team of people, and I'm fortunate to have a great agent, and, you know, I've had great publishers, you know, so, and a team of folks who help, and so, again, it's a process. I can't even believe that I'm still in the game, you know, still writing and still speaking, and we just kind of really are just starting. And the identity work, after 30 years of working to try to build this thing, you know, we're just starting to build these systems where we can deliver this content.
In my relationship with Oprah, you know, people put me in a box, you know, they define me by who she is, and she's a wonderful person and a great woman. But that's not, I'm not Oprah. That's who she is. It's not me. Wrong.
Yes.
And so the ability to be able to, again, not be defined by your race, your family, your gender, your religion, your house, your car, your job, your relationship, all those things that are socially constructed to make you think that's who you are, so that the world can control the way you think. And so the process of developing yourself is a leadership process, which is you got to transform your thinking from a follower to a leader, from a consumer to a producer, from a slave to an owner, especially in the 21st century.
But then how do you, because as you point out, we're so focused on defining ourselves by these titles and these categories that are out there, whether it's I'm a journalist, I'm a mother, I'm a wife, you know, I'm a woman. So then how do you break away from what we've so long established is in fact our identity to figure out who you are?
Well, you take control of your development. And the way the system is set up, it's hard to really learn if you're memorizing, taking tests, repeating information back, and then you can't source information that's relevant to your talents, to your skills, to your passion, to what you love. So it's more of an external process, which is how we define ourselves, as opposed to an internal development process of taking the 24 hours, taking information, the world's a collection of unlimited wealth and information, and making that information relevant or sourcing that information so it's compartmentalized in your family, in your spiritual life, in your hobbies, in your skills, in your talents, in your strengths, so that you can develop yourself.
So part of that, you say, is really looking at what we read. And how that influences.
A lot of information today. What are we doing with the information? We're texting all day long. What are we talking about? Nothing.
I mean, the central point here is that you have to be active in finding out who you are. You have to be active in finding out yourself. You can't let somebody else define it, but it is a proactive process to get there.
Charlie, exactly right. You have to be conscious. And so what I'm doing with this book, Identity, is to get people conscious of the fact that you have an identity, and not a socially constructed box that people put you in, that label you, that define your existence, your destiny, your family, and who you are.
You talk a lot too, Stedman. I've heard you over the years about vision and leadership. And I think it's so great because over the years, Oprah and I, vision, leadership, what is that exactly? Then I heard her the other day say, you know, Stedman's on to something with vision and leadership. Wasn't that gratifying, Stedman? Isn't she such an I told you so person?
If you don't have a vision for the United States of America, you're lost.
I know, but let's wait for a second, because we have to relish in this, Stedman and I, because it's so rare that Oprah admits that, you know, maybe she was wrong. So it was really a sweet moment the other day on the air when she said, you know, maybe Stedman is on to something with vision and leadership. Didn't you just enjoy that moment for just a second?
The good book says where there is no vision, the people perish.
That's true.
So if you can't see beyond your box, then you're going to be in poverty for the rest of your life. You're going to be stuck where you are, and the reason that you're going to be stuck because you're doing the same thing over and over, which gets you.
Though it's unclear what Oprah thinks about all this, one thing is certain. She has no plans to marry Stedman now or in the future.
I regretted having ever spoken about Stedman.
Rewatch this entire Beyonce and Oprah interview. Pay close attention to everything Oprah says. Keep in memory that she can teach a masterclass on interviewing.
I never married. I chose not to marry. But I always love it sometimes when guys will say, you know, that's my wife, or my wife called, or I got to get this for my wife.
All right, I can agree. Someone who chose not to get married, they can still feel a type of way when they hear someone referred to as my wife, and they know they're not qualified to be called that. I can understand how it can make them feel a type of way. But some of y'all are thinking Oprah's admitting to this for what? She's trying to get Beyonce to admit she got married because she liked the way it sounds. Other than that, there's nothing during this interview that suggests that Oprah thinks Beyonce getting married was a good investment.
When you hear the word wife and you know that he's talking about you, do you like that?
I think asking me that question about marriage, they really want a wedding. They want to know if I'm going to do the Liz thing. Will there be doves? What's the gown going to look like? Who's going to sing? And I know that marriage is work. Right now, I got more work than I can handle. There's not a day in my life when someone doesn't say to me, usually there's about 5 people in a given day that say, when are you getting married? And then if you say, why aren't you? I say, well, I don't think I'm getting married. Well, why aren't you getting married? You can't get him to marry you? So it's never the perception that perhaps maybe this is my choice, this is something. I think that's because it's a female thing. They think, you know, all women are desperate, and if you're reaching this age, you must be really dying and desperate. So that's the issue. I'm not interested in being married right now.
Okay, that's fine. But what if you're interested 5 years down the road and there's nobody there to be interested with?
Oh, Michael, please. Good heavens. I think everything happens in everybody's life for a reason. And the fact that I am not interested in being married now, meaning the time when I am really ready, it will come if that's what I'm supposed to have. It's not something that's supposed to be necessarily ordained for anybody. And I think that's why so many people have bad marriages. They grow up with this whole societal idea that it has to be. And if you haven't, then you're not a complete person. I feel so good that at least I got out of that trap of thinking that I'm not really a whole person unless I have somebody else on my arms. I happen to have somebody else, somebody who's very nice to me, good looking, kind, supportive, all that kind of thing. The kind of person I can say, look, I'm working late at the office, I don't know when I'm going to be home. And he says, okay, take your time. Or I left the house the other day and said, look, I'm going to go work out with Rosie and the girls. And he says, okay, have fun. There's no pressure.
I've been with Stedman for over 30 years.
It's hard to believe.
Congratulations. What's it like just kicking it at y'all's house?
Kicking it. Well, okay, let's say, what day is it? Saturday?
Saturday morning.
Okay, Saturday morning, I'm making breakfast.
What do you make?
This is wonderful. I make him blueberry pancakes. I do a special blueberry sauce jam myself. This is the thing that is so wonderful about Stedman, who's just been steadfast in my life and has, wanted the best for me, and it's never, ever felt like he was in my shadow, but always pushing me to the light. I mean, that's what you want. So it's a Saturday morning, and I've made breakfast, and every single time, it will not fail. If I make the pancake, he'll say, "This is the best pancake I ever had." I mean, like the other day, I was doing English muffins. All I did was, he says, "How did you get this muffin to do?" I went, "I toasted it." This is the best muffin. These are the best. I do make good grits.
Well, Heidi, this should be interesting to you because your friend in your head, Oprah Winfrey.
Yeah, best friend forever.
Yes, her man, Stedman Graham, wrote a book called Identity Leadership.
Okay.
And in the book, he reveals some of his secrets about the 30-year relationship he's had with Oprah.
Oh, nice.
And in Hollywood, I mean, a 30-year relationship, that's like a couple of lifetimes.
They're not married.
Especially with someone as powerful as Oprah.
Yes.
So he goes on to say, the thing about our relationship is I want the best for her. So I'm dedicated to her happiness. So that's great for her, and I want her to be the best she can possibly be, and she's done a pretty good job of doing it.
Do you hear that, Frank? You hear that? That's how you're supposed to talk to a significant other or a spouse. You want what's best for her. You want her to be happy.
That is wonderful, Stedman, but this is so passive-aggressive because then he goes on to say this. For me, I've been able to find my own happiness. Like, nobody's helping him find his happiness. He's helping Oprah find all hers. He's finding his own happiness.
You're reading into that.
No, he goes on. For me, I've been able to find my own happiness and develop my own skills, my own talents, my own abilities, and I'm satisfied with that. So the combination, when you have a good partner that's able to self-actualize their potential and you're able to self-actualize yours, 1 and 1 equals about 6. The only thing you don't see there are the tears on the paper.
It sounds like Oprah's absence made him stronger.
Or maybe to make him happy, she gets home from her powerful day and looks at him and goes, "You get a BJ."
And I teach people how to develop an identity for themselves because I didn't have one.
Okay, so you, speaking about the 9 steps to success, could you just tell us a little bit more about that process? What does that involve?
Well, the first step of the 9-step success process, and it says success process because you need to be able to process. And what I realize, I'm right brain, so I'm emotional. I focus on vision, big picture, creativity, all of that. Is that what I missed was a process. To be able to execute what your dreams and aspirations are. The first step in the 9-step success process is called Check Your ID, which is focused on who you are, what your talents are, what your skills are, what you love to do, what you're passionate about. That's the piece, Natalie. If you can get that first step and find out everything that you love and then organize that, then take information and education, make it relevant to your passion. And the 24 hours that you have every single day, which is the only thing that makes you equal, everybody has 24